If you're like me, sometimes you get overwhelmed with what games to play, considering there's over 831,000 video games in the world right now. So I'm gonna go down the list of the top 10 games this year. Notice these aren't opinion-based, but instead are based on the amount of money these games brought in this year. And a couple of them might shock you. With that being said, let's jump on in. Just like every year, Madden has made its way into another annual game that actually came out last year. However, with the amount of fans of the genre, the sport, and the game type, Madden NFL 2022 has just barely made its way onto the top 10 list for this year. And the reviews for this game this year were actually not too kind. However, that didn't stop EA from updating the graphics, updating the roster, and continuing that annual game, bringing it in at number 10. Somewhat surprisingly for the top 10 earnings list of 2022 is a game that actually saw its last release in 2017. Coming to you at number 9 is Mario Kart 8. This year we saw the release of the booster course pack for the infamous friend-ending game Mario Kart 8. The release of this pass was enough to skyrocket this game all the way back from 2017 into the 2022 list at number 9. A friendly reminder that no matter how many times we get hit by that stupid blue shell, we will always come back for more. Finding its release for the Nintendo Switch this year in March, Kirby fans flocked to the shelves, they flocked to the Nintendo store to get their hands on Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Fans of the pink ball were able to navigate these new 3D areas with Kirby's copying mechanics. The game is colorful and bright with all kinds of new fun enemies and the ability to turn yourself into a freaking car. All of this while exploring a land with abandoned buildings from a past civilization. This game was a much needed breath of fresh air for Kirby fans and definitely pleased people at its launch, landing it on the number 8 spot for our list. Also finding itself on shelves and digital stores everywhere this past March was Gran Turismo 7. Fans of this famous racing series were well pleased with all of the new features and cars as they revved up their engines in a new level of realism. The game was highly revered by critics such as IGN and GameSpot and definitely was a great addition to the franchise, earning this game the number 7 seat on our list. Probably unsurprising to many, a Call of Duty game has made it to the top 10 list this year, despite having some questionable reviews. It's really not a surprise to many people that a Call of Duty game ended up on here. However, Vanguard was not received very well, even by fans. However, there are a number of people that continue to play Call of Duty year in and year out. However, with the questionable reviews, it did not make it into the top 5 this year, so it ended up at number 6. Coming in at number 5.5 is a clicker game, my subscribe button. You know, if you want to continue to see the best lists and gaming news for the year. That was dumb, I know. Anyways, coming in next and starting off the top 5 would be the only sports game in the top 5, starting us off with MLB The Show 2022, which came out in April of this year. Just like Madden NFL 2022, this game found itself to be less than favorable in comparison to its predecessor. However, with it being next in line for probably the most popular gaming series when it comes to baseball, it's not a surprise that people continue to go out and spend their money. With updated graphics and rosters and new customizables, this game continued on the series MLB The Show, giving people what they need to live out their childhood fantasies as a professional baseball player, coming in at the number 5 spot. The sequel to the beloved Horizon Zero Dawn series was released in February and continued to impress people like many anticipated. From graphical wonders to engaging story and gameplay, this game continued to impress. Aloy's story continues as she moves to a far future America to brave a majestic but dangerous frontier where she confronts many new types of machines. After the success of both of these games, we're going to see a Netflix adaptation, a possible remaster for the first game, and potentially a new multiplayer Horizon game. And Forbidden West ends up taking the number 4 spot. Getting into the top 3 with the latest in the Pokemon installment, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This game takes place in the Sinnoh region far before the events of Diamond and Pearl in this open world adventure. This game is seen as an ambitious revamp of the ever successful Pokemon franchise with a fresh look on the series. However, even with the game performing as well as it did monetarily, it finds itself in about the middle of the road from fans. However, the game was released back in January and has found its place in the number 3 spot. With all the buzz and the new content that's been coming out from Star Wars the past couple years, it's no wonder that we're seeing a Star Wars game, specifically LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, in the number 2 slot for our list. This past April, this game brought together all 9 movies of the Star Wars saga and put them in the fantastic world of LEGO, bringing us a game that's unlike any other one we saw this year. With a fresh overhaul on all the games before it, fans have continued to remind people that they love things that make them feel like a kid again. And for a lot of people, 2 of those things are Star Wars and LEGO. The game got great reviews from a lot of people and clearly did well as it found its way into our number 2 slot. And finally, coming in at number 1 is From Software's latest masterpiece, Elden Ring. Bringing together the genius direction from Software and the fantastical storytelling of George R.R. Martin, Elden Ring outperformed the studio's expectations and blew all the other games out of the water. And it definitely left me screaming at the top of my lungs as I continued to die to the same dang bosses over and over again. Elden Ring received multiple 10 out of 10s and high praises from critics everywhere. And to probably what won't be to many people's surprises, takes the number 1 slot for the year so far. Did you guess correctly? And for some more deep dives into potential contenders for 2022, check this out and I'll see you over there.